I feel like the repair industry could really step up and fill that void because it's not just like the auto dispense, just that's the only thing that needs routine maintenance that's not happening. With all the two-in-ones and all that stuff, the condenser coils needing cleaned and all that stuff. I mean, it's almost like appliance maintenance went away for a while and then now it's back in full swing and needs a solution. I feel like it's the repair industry that could really step up and solve that. Like personally, like I'm not gonna take apart a a condenser and a two-in-one front load washer dryer. I'm not gonna take that apart and clean it out. I'd rather a tech do it.
I just did it. It's not for the faint of heart. Actually, so I think I've devised the perfect system for maintaining these things, and Ben and I were talking about it offline when I figured it out. So there's a few companies that make it, but I bought one particular product. It's no rinse condenser cleaner for air conditioning systems. And so what I did was I took the frame of the lint filter out of my LG combo and then sprayed into the condenser compartment this foam. And I did it probably 4 or 5 times, emptied about half the can, wiped any liquid residue that came out, and then ran a self clean cycle. That thing was 100% back to the way it was when it just came out of the packaging as far as drying performance.
That's good news because I remember watching Ben's the GE two-in-one, the ultra fast teardown whenever you first came out with it. Which, by the way, I think you were the first person that had that for like months and months and months on the
Yeah.
market. But how many screws did that thing need just to get to the coils? You remember?
The question on the coils is how jury rigged are you going to do that process? There are ways you officially it's about 55 screws. But you could probably do a few things with the control boards to bypass a few of those screws
Take
to
out whole
probably
chunks, yeah, versus
get it down to about 35 screws roughly if you knew what you were doing. Because even as the whole issue was when I did that video, I did that one shot on camera in one day, and I just had the GE manual beside me and a little like fishing lure compartment, and I'm just pulling screws out and doing exactly as the manual says to access the heat pump to swap. Well, really what I did was it was me how to swap the heat pump, but I wanted to pull everything off to expose the coils because that's really what I wanted to do, was to see the coils. And as I'm doing everything, I'm thinking there are like 5 or 6 ways I could not do this, but I'm going to show everything on camera because this is what GE is officially telling technicians to do. And I don't want to run afoul of what GE says at the time. But yeah, there's a few ways you could bypass it. However, it's a little bit shoddy or questionable, and I didn't want to advise anyone
I
improperly.
mean, that's why I contend LG has the best all-in-one because you can literally get to see the coils and spray the spray foam into the coils without removing more than 8 screws. And you can do it all from the top of the appliance.
one thing you don't show in that breakdown is whenever you take all those screws out, you had a fancy screw compartment that you were sticking, this type of screw goes into that bucket and in this bucket. Well, whenever we first took those apart, we didn't have that fancy storage compartment. So you didn't show the additional 30 minutes of trying the wrong screw 10 different times because they're all different lengths and thicknesses and thread counts.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, I actually did everything quite responsibly on camera the first time putting them back in because I did have it arranged. And what I did really was behind the scenes, I just went over all my camera footage. So I knew the camera footage on what went in and what went out. So I just referred to the camera
Oh
while I
yeah,
was putting
cheat
it back
sheet.
in.
That's
Yeah,
smart.
Uh,
That's
that's all
smart.
I did for it. But when I did it like the second or third or fourth time was when I started getting lazy on it. And then I
yeah.
started trying to, I was using the magnetic cup holders and putting 3 or 4 sets of screws in them to just get it done so I could advance that to the next part of the test. But